What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This week's video is going to be a little bit different. Decided to switch it up from the prep files, and instead I'm going to start the video by giving you guys a brief summary of my first year in powerlifting, and then after that I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips on how you can get stronger in 2023 based on my experience in my first year of powerlifting. So if you're new to the channel or whether you've been here a long time, I'd really appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe, and also comment below what you want to see in future videos. I'm still going to keep the vlogs up, but I'm trying to see what you guys want to see to provide value to all y'all and make sure I can give you the best videos possible. So make sure to comment what you want to see below, and let's get right into it. My first year in powerlifting. All right, so last year around this time, I was actually preparing for a half marathon, which is the complete and utter opposite of powerlifting, complete endurance. But the same week that I ran my half marathon, I also tested my squat, my bench, and my deadlift. So you can actually go and watch my first video. It was at the same exact desk in the same exact position where I gave a recap on my half marathon and my 3 strength tests. So go to the bottom of the page and check that out. But I'll put them up on the screen for you, my 3 main lifts. I had a squat of 290 pounds. My bench was 235, but as you can see by that video, it was a touch and go. So that form was pretty miserable. And then my deadlift was 375 pounds, which adds up to a grand total of 900 pounds on the dot. Obviously, those aren't the competition standards, but that was my starting point. And I went off to college, and I joined the Miami Powerlifting Club, and everything just seemed to fall into place. I loved the training style. It was very different. I come from a background of CrossFit, and I still love CrossFit training a lot. But I did that with basketball, and then just got into bodybuilding towards the end of my high school, that style of training. And powerlifting is very different, just focusing on the core 3 lifts, squat, bench, and deadlift, and lifting heavy amounts of weight, longer rest times, and just getting that technique and form down. So I fell in love with that process, and throughout 2022, I competed not in any official powerlifting meets. I will be competing in my first one in February of 2023. But I did compete in 3 mock meets in April, July, and November. So I'm going to put up my numbers across the screen here for all of those mock meets. And you can kind of see it's a good indicator of my progress because they were pretty well spread out throughout the year. But starting with that 900-pound total, I ended up getting to 1,190 in my last powerlifting mock meet, which is an increase of almost 300 pounds. And I stayed in the same weight class. So don't think that I just added on a ton of weight and that's why my total went up almost 300 pounds. I was in the same exact weight class throughout all of this. I added on maybe 3 or 4 pounds of body weight. So if you want to see similar results to what I saw in 2022, I feel like through my experiences, I've learned a lot and I can help you do that. So here are my top 5 tips for how you can get stronger next year. So tip number 1, and the most important tip, not only for the gym, but just in general for self-improvement in life, I would say, is be consistent. With the new year around the corner, there's going to be a lot of people who decide that they want to prioritize their health and fitness for the new year and are going to go into the gyms. It's kind of a joke with a lot of people in the fitness community that the gyms, especially commercial gyms, are packed in January. But after the month of January, 92% of people who have made New Year's resolutions will no longer be showing up to the gym, whether it's to lose weight or just get in better shape. 92% of those people who have New Year's resolutions don't show up in February. So why is that? They're not consistent. They show up when they feel like it, but they don't show up when they don't feel like it or when they're having an off day. I think a lot of people, when they first step in the gym, think that they need the perfect workout program, the perfect diet, but the truth of the matter is you just need to keep showing up, because that's really what consistency and building discipline is all about, is continuing to show up no matter how you feel. I can say that this was definitely one of the things that gave me an advantage over other people in my first year in powerlifting, because pretty much right from the start, I was showing up to every practice, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and a lot of days on Saturdays going into the gym additionally. So I was almost never missing a day in the gym. And when you allow yourself that extra experience, just by showing up, even when you're not at 100%, just showing up, you learn so much along the way and you build the habit of showing up. So it doesn't matter whether you have the perfect workout plan or the perfect diet or whether you're feeling perfect. So many people worry about feeling good going into the gym. It's just about going in there and getting it done. Consistency beats perfection because no one is going to be perfect. And tip number 2 for gaining strength in 2023 is stick to a program. I see so many people when they first start that are searching for that perfect program, kind of like I talked about in the last tip. And the truth of the matter is, I've been in the fitness space for 3.5 going on 4 years now, consistently showing up each day. And let me tell you what, there are hundreds of programs that can allow you to build size, strength, or both, and are effective and are perfectly good for 99% of the people that are showing up and using them in the gym. So what I like to say, a very simple example, is a program is sort of like a ramp, and your body is the car on that ramp. So the ramp is the length of the program. So let's say you have a 10-week program. You're starting at the bottom of the ramp for week 1. And once you get to the top of the ramp, that's week 10. So as you build altitude going up that ramp, your body is getting stronger or is building muscle. And I see so many people that only get up maybe a third of the ramp. They get through 2 or 3 weeks and then they want to switch programs. But if they just stay on the ramp, if they would go all the way to the highest altitude at week 10, that is when your body is in peak condition. And that is when you are most susceptible to the gains that you're looking for, the results that you're looking for. Once again, whether it's size, strength, or both. And so I see so many people that tell me that they're switching programs because they haven't added 5 pounds of muscle in 2 weeks. They haven't added 50 pounds onto their squat in 2 or 3 weeks. Or they have a buddy who ran this other super selective program that added 200 pounds in 2 months to their total. And there's so many different reasons for switching from a program, but I can speak as someone who has seen programs through to the end, and as someone who's made the mistake when I first came into the gym of jumping from program to program. You're not seeing the full benefits of a program when you're constantly swapping back and forth. And I also get asked a lot of questions about what are good programs to use. So if you're looking for a program, I have 2 recommendations for you. First off, I would recommend the Power Building series programs from Jeff Nippard, volumes 1 through 3. I've personally ran volume 1, I think, around COVID time, and it was pretty good. Power building means that you're building size and strength simultaneously. And I can genuinely say that 10-week program, I saw some very strong results. And Jeff is just a great resource. If you look at his YouTube videos, everything that he puts in those videos is based on current scientific studies, and his programming is no different. It's fantastic. So all 3 of those volumes for power building. And if you're looking for a more powerlifting specific program, just building strength, I would recommend any of the programs from Strength Studio TT. You might have heard of Jamal Browner or Rondell Hunt. Once again, if you're familiar with powerlifting, those are 2 individuals who helped put some of those programs together. And personally, over the summer, I ran Jamal Browner's volume 4 for the 12-week program. And I think I added like 75 pounds onto my total in just 12 weeks. And recently for my mock meet, I ran the 8-week premium peak program from Strength Studio TT and saw huge gains running that. So from my experience, those are two programs that are fantastic. I check out Jeff Nippard and Strength Studio TT, but bottom line, stick to a program and see it through to the end. Tip number 3 is very simple, and that is learn. Now, I understand if you're a student like me, a lot of times you're trying to get away from that learning environment, right? I know I'm stepping into the gym a lot of nights, and I'm trying to get away from hitting the books, and I just want to go in there and lift heavy stuff. But I can say from my experience that everyone, when they step in the gym, tends to make mistakes. So if you want to maximize your results, you have to learn from those mistakes, because there's insights that you can draw from those mistakes. It's good that you're making mistakes because we can learn from them. So 2 main ways that I've learned from my mistakes is, first, don't be afraid to ask for help. As someone who's in the gym and now frequently gets asked questions on how should I improve this, or how does my form look, or what do you recommend for XYZ, I genuinely enjoy answering those questions. And a lot of the people that you're looking up to in the gym that you would ask questions to, even if it's as simple as, hey, can you look at this set and see how my form looks? They're happy to help. I think a lot of people are just afraid that they're going to bother others or anything. I mean, even if it's something so little as asking for someone to spot you on a set, people are a lot nicer than you would think in the gym. At least from my personal experience, I've never had someone say no to looking at my form or helping me with a spot on a lift. So in general, just ask for help. And if you truly listen to people who are knowledgeable on fitness, they can provide you with a lot of insight, and you can learn from others' mistakes before you make those same mistakes yourself, which is really helpful. And also, video your sets, especially if you're a power lifter. This is one of the number 1 things I swear by, and how I've made so much progress is you can go through my camera roll. I'll put it up here. It is full, almost full, of just lifting videos of my top sets throughout all. And part of that is because I'm making content, but also is because every single time I do a heavy set in my programming, I video it. And the reason for that is later that night when I get back to the dorm room, or maybe the next day, I look so that I can look at how my form looked and how that amount of weight moved. Because based on how that weight moved this week will determine oftentimes how much weight I'm doing the next week. And your form, if it's kind of crappy, you can find things of your form that you can pick apart and improve on next week. And like I said, even if you don't know whether you're using proper form, you can then show that video to people and ask for help. Combine the 2 tips. So number 3, just in general, learn, learn, learn. All right, and the last 2 tips I'm going to kind of mesh together into one, and that is lift with proper form and adopt a long-term mindset. Now those kind of go together because a lot of people are focused on numbers or building muscle so quickly. And what's ironic about that is when you're trying to force results, when you have a short-term mindset and you're trying to just force the numbers to go up quickly, you often lift with improper form, or you put yourself at risk for a really bad injury. And what's ironic about that is if you would lift with proper form and be patient, you would actually see results much faster than if you tried to rush them, which sounds very counterintuitive. The fact that in order to see your numbers go up quickly, you should oftentimes use lower amounts of weight and focus on form rather than loading more weight, but it's just the truth. And I can say that 80% of the time when I lift, if I misjudge how much weight to put on the bar, I am underestimating or undershooting my amount of prescribed weight rather than overshooting. And you want to try your best to load the bar with the proper amount of weight, but when you use lower amounts of weight, you can focus on your form. And that's why I say to adopt a long-term mindset, because your goal is just like they say in lots of self-improvement books. If you've read like Pound the Stone, you're a stone cutter just every day, hitting the stone. And eventually on the 101st day, the stone will crack and you'll see results. It might seem like everything happens all at once. Or a book I've read, Atomic Habits, where you're just trying to get 1% better every day. You need to adopt that long-term mindset because you are going to have off days, kind of like I talked about in step 1 with consistency. You're going to have off days, and you're going to have days where you're not consistent. You fail, you mess up, and you need to adopt that long-term mindset because if you're trying to force results and get things in the short term, that's really going to mess with your psyche when you have a bad day. But when you have the long-term mindset and you're just focused on getting wins more frequently than losses, even the littlest of wins, when you're focused on that, you're going to see results faster than if you were forcing things to happen. So to cap things off, those are my 5 top tips for 2023 and you becoming the strongest version of yourself. And I want to leave you with one thing, which is you have full control over executing all 5 of these things. It doesn't matter whether you have no experience in the gym or you've been lifting for 10 years. It doesn't matter if you're in shape, out of shape, whatever. You have full control over doing these 5 things. And a lot of times, these things might make you feel uncomfortable or they might be difficult, right? I'm not saying these things are going to be easy to do, but as someone who has gone through it over the last 12 months, I can tell you that these have helped me tremendously. So trust the process, stick to it, give these 5 tips a try, and I think you'll be happy with the results. But with that being said, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys again next week. Thanks for watching.